Let's go for it. So, are we live? Yes, we are. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Butter Dish Gals. We have our coach Emily, Coach Cherish, and our lovely Coach Jane, who is the star of the show these past weeks. She is on just under week 3 of priming. And we would love to hear how she has been doing this week. This is the 3rd week. How are you? These were 2 mads for you this week.
They were. I'm doing good. I struggled this week, really struggled. I think because you said no snacking and no fatty lattes until I'd eaten.
Right.
So hard. So hard. Partly because of my schedule. So if I was eating first thing in the morning, that wasn't so bad if I could do that, because then I could have the fatty latte afterwards and then I could not eat then till mid-afternoon, which was fine. On the days when I couldn't eat first thing in the morning, when work was just too early and I didn't want anything too big, I had to wait until lunchtime without anything,
Right.
just water or a cup of tea, and I really, really struggled. Really struggled. So yeah, so that was hard, and I think that's possibly down more to my work schedule.
Okay, so it wasn't hunger that was hard for you?
Yes, on the days when I had to go to work on an empty stomach, not even a fatty latte,
Yeah.
because then I had to wait, and I knew it's a bit embarrassing in the middle of running a Pilates class when my tummy is grumbling and it is so loud.
Is it? Okay.
So
Yeah.
before I would have had if I wasn't eating a meal, I would have had a few bits of meat wrapped around butter and a fatty latte that would have seen me through till the lunchtime when I could have had
Right.
a meal. So I think the fact I wasn't allowed to snack was really hard.
And was that every day, or was your schedule so very that you could have like days with breakfast, or it could start off with breakfast?
Yeah, so a couple of days that worked okay. But then I was like, if I ate first thing in the morning, then at lunchtime, then in the evening, I'm like, I want something else. Not that I was hungry necessarily. A couple of days I was, but one of the days it was like, I just want something, and I would have had a fatty latte, and that
Right.
would just have nailed it, and that would have been it. Whereas
Right.
I spent the whole evening thinking, I really want something. And then when I went to bed, then I actually felt hungry. By then it was like 10 o'clock and too late to eat. I don't like eating that late.
Right.
So
Mhm.
it's been an odd week. Bizarrely, I actually preferred the first week. As hard as that was, at least every time I was home, I could have something to eat.
Right. Okay. Okay. Coach Emily or Cherish, would you like to chime in and see what we can, if we can tweak it perhaps, or maybe something that she could have done differently this week?
Why don't you go ahead, Coach Emily? Oh no, she's muted. Hold on. Can't unmute because guests chose to mute themselves.
That's all right, Coach Emily. I think you need to go to settings so you can. Yeah.
Okay. Wait
So
while we work out these technical difficulties.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
there we
There we go.
That's okay.
On our big meetings, it's on my face, and in this one, it's somewhere else. I apologize. Okay, so absolutely, the strategy is we're trying to get distinct meals, and so you're going to have to be a little bit uncomfortable on the mealtime is to get past those snacking points. And so the meals are just going to have to come up a little bit and, get that extra butter at the end of it. Like we said, you can do the fatty lattes at the end, but it is a training. And so your body adapts to the training. And so as we are, our body clock has it a certain way. And so as we're moving forward, we're trying to get the clock to switch to the distinct meal patterns. That's probably my best tip, because you don't want to get into the white knuckling territory ever. And even into this fad, it's just, the same message applies to all of this, that we don't want you to be miserable, that we want you to enjoy this.
Exactly.
So I feel like the best step would be to actually up the meals a bit, just knowing that that's going to help you to get through those periods of time.
Yeah. So you mean up the amount that I'm eating at the mealtime? I'm eating until I can't eat anymore.
You have been eating quite well,
Mhm.
actually. Your meals have been much bigger than the when you were doing 3 meals, and that
Yes,
was
and
the
that's been easier. Eating a
right.
bigger plateful has been easier this week, but I think the problem for me is because my work schedule is different every single day.
Mm,
So if at the weekend, if I train myself to eat, say, lunchtime and evening, that's great. But then Tuesday, I can't eat in the evening because I'm classes all night. So I can't eat
Mhm.
from 4:30 onwards because I'm out working. There's just no chance. So it's been an interesting one.
mhm. I
So,
would like Tuesday be good if you could just have breakfast and lunch then. Have you
yes,
tried? Yes, right.
yes. But then because I've been eating, because then I was eating lunch and evening, the next morning I actually wasn't hungry.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's a
So
Mm.
lot of figuring out how your
yeah,
week would look like with the 2
yeah,
meals.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I'm curious, if I may, how did you manage this prior to trying to follow the process that we're, doing with the priming and the feasting and fasting schedules? How did you manage? Did you just eat once a day, or what
No,
did your history look like?
some days it would be once a day. Other
Hmm.
days it would every day would be different.
Mhm.
So it would be if I had time in the morning, we would have breakfast. If I didn't, I would have snacks. So I would have my
Okay.
meat wrapped around butter, a fatty latte. That then sees me through most things. So that was my go-to snack. So if
Hmm.
I had a half hour between classes, and also I could do a class on that. It wasn't so heavy that I couldn't exercise on it,
Mhm.
but it was enough to satisfy that I wasn't hungry, and it just kept me going. So taking the snacks out for me was a real but it's been interesting because it has meant I've ate more on my plate. So I think
Hmm.
for that, it's improved it because that was all my trouble was if I have a plate full of food, I really struggle to finish it. But that hasn't been as much of an issue.
Okay.
I did, yeah. I
Good.
mean, I had a couple of meals that I haven't quite finished, but generally it's because there was a lot on my plate.
Mhm.
So
And how is that to have a lot on your plate? Because I remember in the beginning you said that if you had like a huge amount of food in front of you, you suddenly would not be hungry anymore. It's just the size of it,
yeah,
of a big huge
I'm
steak.
trying not. I'm trying not to focus on it.
Okay.
So it's just it's I'm trying and I'm having more variety, so I make sure I don't just have one thing because then that's easier. And also just try and it's easier if I'm eating with Stephen because then we can talk and it kind of takes my mind off what I'm doing, if you know what I mean. I'm still being mindful with the taste, but I'm not focusing on how much I've got left.
Oh, good.
A few times he's gone, "You're struggling now, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat." I try and set myself that I eat 5 more mouthfuls once I get to that point, and sometimes I manage it, sometimes I don't. So, but it's
Good.
it's a it's a process.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
And like Emily said, that's also part of the training. I mean, it's not even the frequency of meals, but how much you're eating, and every day is different.
yeah.
Uh, every day. Yes. So are we going to celebrate Jane's priming that she's ended with priming? Do you think she is? She's fully primed, coaches? How do
I
you feel,
think
Jane?
so. How do you feel? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I would come back to doing a mini prime probably every couple of months.
Good.
Just because I'm not going to do any fasting particularly, certainly not at the
Hmm.
moment. It's not something that
Mhm.
it's not a route that I want to go down particularly. Um, I I think really it's just going to be. I'm interested in whether to try OMAD.
Good. Are you ready for
Tempt.
it this week?
I
We
think
could
I'm going to
just
have a
try.
go. Yeah, I think I'm going
Okay.
to have a go and see. But I was going to ask. So OMAD is no snacks, nothing, just one meal.
It's one meal a day, and later on we'll do it literally. But actually, the first one that would be on if you would like to follow this, keep following the schedule, is Mondays tomorrow. So that's the 23 one. So we would like to see if you can feel how it feels to just not eat for 23 hours, and that be only just water only. Yeah, are
Okay.
you ready for that? Because we can always do it on Tuesday if it's just too
No,
soon right now. No, we shall
don't give me time to change my mind.
okay, that'd be great. So that's 1 meal tomorrow.
Okay.
And let's see, this is water only, so no snacks. And hi Zoe. And what else can we add to that, Emily? Wait, let's see. Does she still needs to eat stuffed or beyond full?
Well, Jane is growing so much in her capacity to eat over time. And so I just love where you're at. So I just stick with this. I mean, you're
Mhm.
telling us these secrets that you've developed, and this kind of, why we love to learn these things in community. For some of you that are having a struggle with not getting enough in, Jane has dropped some great tips already. So she actually kind of focuses on her conversation with her husband while she's able to just kind of slowly get more in. She's been focusing on high fat for all of this time. So I would say just keep on using the strengths that you're working with already. You are given an hour. And so for you might be one that would benefit from, eating your big meal and then getting a little bit in at the end of the hour, because you do have a high energy job and you're going to be going through that energy quite a bit. I think that you're going to have some suggestive hunger. So that's going to be hunger that comes with the meal times.
Yeah.
And so the main caveat on that is just to never get into where you're just struggling. It's white knuckle, which, so you've experienced just a little bit of that, taking the snacks out. You've had some little and so, this process is about being fully nourished and then taking a challenge. So I love your attitude, Jane, because you are like, I'm going to do it and don't talk me out of it. I'm up for the challenge. And so
I love that
we
too.
need that. We need that
Yes.
in our life to grow. We need that challenge. So I think this will be a challenge for you. Just keep that hunger level at what we would call between a 1 to a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
And so if you're just kind of thinking about it, you're like, this is annoying. This is like, wow, you notice the clock, and you can, just have a drink of water or just take a look at the clock. And if that kind of hunger persists for 30 minutes and then you go another 30 minutes and it's again persisting and it's getting stronger, you have to look if the hunger is getting stronger or getting less. Then you're just going to say, this isn't the day for me to do an OMAD. Do another couple days of 2 MADs, try your OMAD again on a different day.
Yes. Yeah. So just explain this schedule real quick this week. You'll have Monday the 23-1, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we'll go back to home base, and that is for you 2 MADs. Okay. And then we have a back-to-back 23-1, right, Coach Emily? So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday will be 2 23-1s again. Okay. Yes.
Is that going to work with your schedule, Jane?
I need a pass on Sunday.
Good. Sunday's pass.
I need a pass on Sunday because I've got a birthday party.
Good.
So it's not even me doing it. It's my daughter that's doing it. So it's going to be an interesting. She knows I'm carnivore. So there should be lots of meat there and cheese. So that's the...
that's definitely that will actually fit in the schedule, and that will be officially be a home base again with two MADs. But I mean, you can eat all day if you like on the Sunday. That would be just, let's say, the pass.
Yeah. So there might be one glass of prosecco.
Good, that's fine as long as you eat lots.
Yeah, you're only 54 once, aren't you? So.
Oh, it's a birthday for you.
It's your birthday.
Oh, I thought it was for your daughter.
Yeah, that's why he's thrown me a birthday party.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. So actually on the meeting on the Monday is my birthday.
Oh, that's amazing. Good. That's great celebration.
So Sunday I will be good. I'm not going to eat carbs, but I will have one glass of Prosecco.
Yeah.
Because
it's your birthday. Birthday party.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, Coach Jane. Would you like to share any victories before, if I don't see any questions right now in the chat? Maybe please feel free to ask any questions you like, you guys. We're here for you, and also for Coach Jane. Oh, there we go. Happy birthday, Jane, from Vicky. Would you like to share any victories that you've noticed this week?
It's been an interesting week, actually. I think for me, it's just been finishing the food on my plate. That's been my victory because
wow.
that's the thing I really struggled with. And I think I think sometimes it was just because I didn't put food as a priority. Food was just like,
Mm.
I needed to get it eaten before I went out to work. So if I didn't have time, it was just, it didn't matter.
Right.
Whereas this time it has been very much actually my body needs this.
So your
Uh,
relationship with food has changed. Is that what you'd say? Oh,
yeah.
that's wonderful.
One thing I have realised, my hair's coming out less.
Oh,
Yay!
fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
So which is because I shed terribly, and long hair, it's a nightmare. But yeah, so definitely less hair. So less hair loss, which is great. But then I'm up in the protein, so that should be.
well,
So
both, I think. Both. Just maybe you were slightly under eating, could be.
yeah.
And because of the fats, your hormones are healing much better now. And of course the protein. So I think all of it is
Yes.
what's going well, and that it will show in your hair as well. Yeah. Amazing.
So
That's wonderful.
I haven't weighed myself or anything this week. I've had a complete week off numbers, so
Yeah.
I haven't weighed anything. I haven't checked my body weight. I feel fine. All my clothes still fit. I look okay. I also don't weigh, or I haven't been weighing the butter out or the food. I just eat what I can.
Well, letting go of the numbers, that's all we want, right? We all want. That's food freedom as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel much better to that. So that for me, that was actually, I felt very conscious of that the first couple of weeks when I was measuring things and weighing things because people wanted to know, which I get.
Mm.
And also weighing myself every day was like something I'd never done. So weighing myself to see what was happening, which was interesting, but it's not me. It's not something that I do. So to get off that again this week has been great.
Oh, good.
Um,
Good.
But I've also got off it so much that I forgot to take pictures a couple of days as well. But yeah.
Oh, thank you, Jane. Are there any questions, Coach Cherish?
There are no
Oh, that's
questions.
fine.
We did have a lot of happy birthday wishes
Yeah.
and some testimonials about the hair shedding. I maybe I missed it, but I was wondering if we could circle back real quick
Certainly.
to the trying to work around your schedule. And so I just have a quick question. Your schedule, is it your classes, do they vary day to day, or do you have like classes only in the evening? So tell us about that.
No, so they vary day to day. So Monday, I mean, I see clients at different times during the day, but the classes, I have
Mhm.
a class Monday night. I have a class first thing Tuesday morning. So I have one at 7:15 on a Tuesday morning, then one at 9. Then I have then I have two in the evening, 6:30 and 7:30. But I have clients in between that as well, but they're sort of spaced in between and I can kind of zip home and do bits. And then I have classes Wednesday morning, but not Wednesday evening.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thursday varies because that's more private clients, so that can vary week to week. And then Friday morning I have classes all morning. So it's the same every week for the classes,
Mhm.
but it's different every day. So it can be very work heavy in the evening or very work heavy in the morning. I mean, I suppose I work Monday, Tuesday, Thursday evening, but then the others are mornings heavy.
Okay, I see.
So yeah.
So this might be something that could be a little tricky for you, but it seems like if you do have a schedule that's similar back to back, it's almost like if you can keep the eating the same for those particular 2 days, and then if you're going to have a change, if there's a way you can mimic the next day's eating that day. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
like, I'll give you guys an example because my husband works overnight. And so even on the weekends, he sleeps and eats like as if he was working. And it
Oh,
keeps his rhythms and his schedule running like a well-oiled machine, because otherwise, if he tries to vary it too much, we find that it impacts his sleep, it impacts his ability to eat. And so we just kind of work around that. So I was just wondering if that might be an option for you. It sounds like maybe part of the week it might work, but then other
Yeah.
parts it might not.
Yeah, I mean, part it might, but then I also want to be able to eat with Stephen,
Right.
Yes, of
Oh, and then
course.
there's
who then
that.
has a
Yes.
completely different schedule.
Oh gosh.
So it's yeah. I mean, I try and do that. Yes, to a
Mhm.
point. I will have another look and see if that's doable. It is a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, just a very chaotic
Mhm.
life and work thing. So it's yeah. No, but that could work. I'll write it down actually and sit and play around with it and see what's doable.
Okay.
I
You
will
have
say-
somebody in your house that loves to analyze that stuff, so maybe he can
Yeah.
help you out. It'll be like a project
Yeah.
that you guys can do together.
Puzzle. You guys can
Yeah.
No, you
solve
should
the
write
puzzle.
it out on a whiteboard.
Draw a bunch of arrows.
You know, Jane, if we can get you to where you are able to do comfortable OMADs, I think it could be
Yes.
a power tool for your
Mhm.
busy life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm really curious to see, how this continues, because I just looking at the perspective from mine, I'm like, this woman, if OMAD could work for her, it would be like
Mhm.
check it
Yes.
off the box. So we'll
Yeah.
just have to play and see if that's a good fit. It's not a good fit for everybody, and that's okay. But
True.
I admire you giving it a true shot to see if that could be. I think it could actually simplify your life quite a bit.
Definitely. If you have this in your toolbox, you can actually just, switch from 2 ads to OMADs easily.
Hmm.
And that will make your, your daily life and your daily schedule much
yes.
easier to handle as well.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
totally understand the wanting to eat with your spouse because my husband and I are on different schedules because he works overnight. It can be tricky to get a meal in. So, I kind of look for those moments and opportunities where you can actually have a meal. I unfortunately maybe get once a week, but
Mm.
we've lived that lifestyle for a really long time. We're used to it. It's kind of the absence makes the heart grow fonder kind of thing. So that works for us. But I agree with the coaches that the definitely one meal a day is super powerful because you just eat whenever,
Mhm.
But we do have a question from Sandy Lee, if you guys are ready.
Definitely.
Okay. She says, I know it's probably repetitive, but I'm doing the Chisel 90 days. So for those that don't know what Chisel is the program created by Coach Raymond and taught by Coach Raymond and Coach Emily in the Steak and Butter Gang. And so this question is related to that. She says, I'm about 6 weeks in and I am losing some of my enthusiasm. Can you all share with us wonderful benefits of fasting? Who would like to go first? I think Coach Emily should go first because she's like the faster
fasting.
extraordinaire.
I
That's the
might not
queen.
shut up if you get me started. So I do have a couple things to say about this. When she says I'm losing my enthusiasm, I have a lot of questions about that part of it, Sandy. Like, I would love for you to speak up in our calls. We'd love to hear more from you, because sometimes that is a sign that something that you in particular are doing isn't working, isn't the best fit for you right now. So, at 6 weeks in, most people aren't over fasting by that point, but it can be a bit much for some people at that point. So I just want to say that there's a really strong option that once mental is starting to wear down and attitude is starting to wear down, that sometimes that can be a sign of over fasting. So on the other hand, because of course we're very feasted, nourished kind of a program. So nourishing and home base is always what we return to. The benefits of fasting, I think it's efficiency. I think it is ancestrally accurate. And so everything that we're doing with this lifestyle of carnivore foods, it's what we were kind of designed to do. So I think the benefits of it is that it gives you more time in a fasted state, which you have, Your metabolism is running off of fat at that point. So you'll see things like blood sugars will correct, inflammation levels will come down, you'll get more growth hormone. So there's just a lot of things that go into having a lot of your day be in a fasted state. So for me, it's a mental release, but it is an adjustment and it takes some time getting used to it. And so that's why we kind of toggle back and forth by it slowly. Those are a few that came to mind, but I'm gonna let other people.
No, I'm thinking, what else can I add to that? I think lots of time. I mean, you get time for yourself. I mean, we're always like in a rush society, and I know, and food is always usually the main part of the day. But taking that out and then finding just time for yourself, it's has been really different for me, because I've been always obsessed about food, and with fasting, it's like having a day off. But I'm not, just with carnivore, I'm not even obsessed about it anymore. But it's just that it's just a huge difference than just about 2-3 years ago, when food was always on my mind. And now there's just time for others and loved ones, and just yourself especially.
Yeah, I think
Cherish.
Sandy, since you are part of the Chisel program, maybe go back and listen to the Chisel call to kind of remotivate yourself. When I'm fasting, even though I have food freedom, I recognize the fact that my mental strength sometimes can be tested with all the delicious carnivore food posts that can happen. So I tend to like to focus on fasting posts in social media and things of that, and actually looking up, YouTubes and things of that nature, where the actual talk is about fasting. And digging into the science, listening to Jason Fung and all the super fasters, listening to Coach Raymond talk about his fasting, and Coach Emily talking about her fasting, Coach Adek, just kind of immersing myself with what I'm trying to accomplish on that particular day helps my brain say, I can do this, and you can do this. You can do hard things. For sure. That is the one thing I think is the greatest thing about carnivore and fasting, is that it gives you a resolve. We're like, I know family members can't even make it the 12-hour fast just to go get a blood test. And they're like woozy afterwards, like as if they had donated a ton of blood. And that's just from not eating 12 hours.
Yeah.
And, this way, nourish fasting, as Coach Emily talked about, gives you that power that, if there was a food shortage, you're going to be okay. That's what I love. So,
Love that.
We're preparing for the apocalypse.
yes.
Oh, we're fine. We don't
You're
need to
ready for the
prepare.
zombies.
Yeah.
I used to feel like a walking zombie.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're the ones who woken up. Maybe we can end this call with maybe any tips for Jane about our OMADs. Do we have anything that we can help her with?
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay. So on my OMADs, I've noticed there's been a change. I have to go. I'm like you, Coach Jane. I have a lot going on in my life. So I really have to focus on what's going on that day and schedule the OMAD around that day. And then if the OMAD that I'm scheduling isn't going to work out, I have to, because I used to really be hard on myself about this. I've learned to let it go and just go ahead and honor my hunger and eat if I feel like I'm getting into white knuckle territory. So those are my tips.
Thank you.
Okay. Coach Emily?
My tips are to eat really fatty foods the day before and to stock up on butter the day you're heading into your OMAD.
No, good idea. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I made some go and get a fatty latte in tonight because I ate about half an hour ago.
You can still have one. Yeah, we used to call that OMAD Plus, right, Coach Emily? Just wait if you're like not sure if you're full, wait 30 minutes and then see if you can eat a little more. So that's like the OMAD plus that we used to say. Yeah. And
I
I would
need-
say take your time. I mean, I know it's an hour, but that, that is your only meal for the day. So, just have take your time, go and sit for that meal. And it's not even just mindful eating, it's just be there at that moment and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
I was going to say, maybe do a contest with Coach Stephen and see who can eat slower for the entire hour.
Yeah. I mean, I always sit at the table. I always set the table. I always, try and make it look nice and try and make it an event. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I kind of a little concerned is whether I can get the amount of fat in that I want.
Oh, because you're already quite high fat right now, and so we won't be able to do it in one go. Okay, just again see how much you can, what you crave in that hour, and maybe the 30 minutes after that, and then it's just one day. Well, and tomorrow you'll do another 2 MAD, and then we can go back to your regular high amount of fat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will give it a go.
Great. Thank you. Coach Cherish, would you like to end the call?
Sure. Thank you, everybody, for joining the Butter Dish Gals Live with Coach Jane. We are so excited. Please subscribe, hit the notification button, give this a thumbs up. We have 33 people, so I want at least 33 likes out of this live that we did. And we really appreciate Coach Jane's vulnerability as she shares this with us. And it just goes to show you that everybody's journey is different, and that there are pieces of the chisel and protocols that are taught within the Steak and Butter Gang that can work for you. So, so excited that you guys joined us, and we'll see you later. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.